All right. So, very good afternoon, teachers. I welcome you all to today's session. In the previous sessions, we discussed about AI and its role in foundational and preparatory level students. That's because AI is now intertwined with our lives in such a way that we are using it without ever realizing it. Now, we also spoke about coding and how it is helpful for them to find a career and become a respected professional. Today, in this session, we are going to learn about another important skill that is quite sought after in today's world, and that is photo editing. Now, why photo editing is important? Because these days we are quite involved with content like video, uh, photos, sharing with our relatives, friends, or on our social pages, the highlights of our life. But sometimes we have seen that the raw photos taken from our smartphones or maybe a camera is not exactly the way we want it to be. So, what we do is we modify it or we edit it slightly so that it looks better. So, to do it, we need some tools. Now, these tools must be taught to the students also so that they learn how to use them and use social media properly. So, what are the tools or how do we select these tools? Now, if you see, many books use tools such as Photoshop, which is a good tool for the purpose. But the thing is, it is difficult to find it for our common user. That's because it's a paid software. Right, everybody knows that Photoshop is a paid software, so it's difficult to use in a school environment or at home environment. So what we do in such a scenario, what we do is we find a substitute that has all the features that we require and is free and easily available. One such software is GIMP. So today we are going to see how this works. So just a second. Okay, let me share my screen. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. Uh, Dave, sir, you are asking for the attendance link. I have already shared the link. You can find it if you scroll the chat a little bit. So moving on, as I was talking about GIMP. So why exactly GIMP? Now, GIMP, we selected GIMP. That's because it's freely available. It has all the features that we need, right? You can download it from Google, or you can also download from the links that that is provided. It is compatible with different platforms like Windows and other, and its interface is very easy to understand. So that's why we have selected GIMP as a platform for photo editing as a substitute for Photoshop. Now, since we have selected GIMP, so how do we teach it to the children? So it can be done in these steps. Now, the first step is to choose the correct software. So as I mentioned, GIMP is the correct software in this case. That's because it's freely available, it's open source, and it is maintained by a huge community that constantly updates it and provides new features, new filters, and other features for the people to use. It is beginner friendly. I mean, you can use it even if you don't have a formal training to use that software. That's why it is easier to use for the students, and it is easier for the teacher to teach this. But then comes, how do you teach it to a class? So Teaching it to a class involves two methods. Either you can demonstrate how to use the tools through step-by-step explanations, which also contains screenshots of the tools and how to use them, or you can demonstrate it through videos. I'll show them both. Now you can see that there are videos and screenshots. Can you see my screen? Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Right. Right. So as you can see, there are steps and there are screenshots to how to use the tools, and also there are outcomes shown alongside, so that you can understand when you perform certain action, the outcome will be like this. Now, this makes it easy for the kids to understand, and at the same time for the teacher to explain how to use these tools, right? Apart from this, the second method is to show them videos which have the steps in them for them to understand. Now, why use demonstration videos? So, using the demonstration videos has many benefits. Like, it lets the students to see what they have to do in order to reach to a certain outcome, right? It also saves you a lot of time so that you can attend to some students. You can play the video in your class, let the students understand the step, and at the same time help the students who are not able to grasp maybe what exactly is going on. So this also lowers the burden on the teachers. Now, since it's a video, the student can mimic how the steps are being carried out and then get the exact same results, which also boosts their confidence and eases their learning process. Plus, it also gives step-by-step guidance, which is a big advantage for them. Now, being a video file, it can also be used at any time by the students at their home or whenever they are free. And since it's a video file, it can also be used on a mobile platform like their smartphones, tablets, laptops, etc. So having a demonstration video is a big plus. Now, let me show you what the videos look like. So, for example, let's see how to start GIMP and how to open a file in GIMP through a video. So, here it is.
To start GIMP, follow these steps. Click on the Start button.
Let me restart the video
To
for.
start GIMP, follow these steps. Click on the Start button. Click on the GIMP icon. Wait for a few.
Before I go on further, can you hear the audio in the audio that is playing in the background of the video? Great. Uh, okay then. Let's continue.
Few moments for GIMP window to open.
So as you can see, the steps were recorded. Like first
To start GIMP,
the
follow
step
these
was to
steps.
click on the
Click
start
on the
button. So
Start
now the
button.
button was clicked.
Click on the
Then
GIMP icon. Wait for a few moments for
the
GIMP
click
window to
was on
open.
GIMP, and then we wait for the software to open.
To open an image, follow these
Now this is
steps.
what the initial interface looks like. You can see this part is the toolbar. Here we have some different options related to the toolbar and other things among those. So let us open a file on which we will work.
Click on the File menu.
So this is how
Click
you
on
open a
Open
file.
option. Open dialog box appears. Navigate to the location of the file and select the file. Click on the Open button.
And the file appears. So this is how you open a file in easy steps in the GIMP platform. Now, with every photo editing platform, the major part is the tool, right? We have many tools to perform many tasks on an image, which are the important things and which are the only things we want to do on this platform. So to do so, let us we have to select the image first, right? We need to select the image and then we need to move forward to make any changes to it. So let us look at how the selection tools work in GIMP. Just a second. There.
To use any tool in GIMP, you need to select the image or select a part of the image. GIMP provides various selection tools which are rectangular selection, elliptical selection, free selection, fuzzy selection.
So these,
To
let me pause for a second. So these are the most common type of selections that are available in GIMP. So the first is the rectangular selection. And since selection tools come under one category, so we have four tools in one category. Now, as you can see, this is the rectangular selection, the first image. Then on the second side, you have the elliptical selection. This selects a round or an oval or a circular part of the image for you to edit. Then you have the free selection. You can select any part of it as per your desire. And then we have the fuzzy select tool. So let's see how these tools work, or how to actually select these tools and then select a portion of the image.
retouch a part of the image. To use the rectangular selection tool, follow these steps. Click on the rectangular selection tool from the toolbox. Click anywhere on the image and drag the mouse to select an area of the image. You will see the selected area in the form of dotted lines.
So these were the steps to use the rectangular selection tool. Now similarly, you can use the other tools. So let's take a look.
Dotted lines. To use the elliptical selection tool, follow these steps. Right-click on the selection tool from the toolbar. Click on the ellipse select tool. Now, click on the image and drag the mouse to select an elliptical region on the image. You will see the selected area in the form of dotted lines. To use the free selection tool, follow these steps. Click on the free select tool from the toolbar. Click on the image and draw a closed shape around the area you wish to work on. You will see the selected area in the form of dotted lines. Fuzzy select tool is used to select adjacent areas with the same color. To use the fuzzy select tool, follow these steps. Click on the fuzzy select tool from the toolbar. Now click on the area you wish to select. You will see the selected area in the form of dotted lines.
I have some messages here. Just give me a moment to check those. So Sharmila ma'am is asking for the attendance link. It's actually okay. Let me post it again. Just give me a moment. Here it is. So here's the attendance link. Please let me repeat the instruction again. While filling up the attendance link, please make sure that the email addresses have no errors. Otherwise, the certificate might not get to you, right? So please double check the email addresses before submitting the form. And also one more thing I must add, the certificates will be available once this session is over. I'll post the feedback link. You have to fill that form and then the certificates will be dispatched after a few working days. Right? So now let's move on to the next topic. So these were the selection, as I was saying, these were the selection tools. Now, now that you have selected a part of the image, now let's actually work on it. So working means to retouch an image. Now let's look at how to retouch these images.
To use any tool in GIMP, retouching tools are important tools used to enhance images. GIMP provides various retouching tools which are Blur tool, Smudge tool, Dodge tool.
Now, if you look at these images closely, you will see that that the faces have slight changes in each of the images. In the first image, you can see that the face of this cricketer is blurred out, and in the second image, you can see that the this person has been removed from the image. In the third part, the faces have been brightened. So let's see how to perform these actions.
To use the Blur tool, follow these steps. Click on the Blur tool from the toolbox. Now, click on the image and drag to apply a blur effect on the image.
Just a moment. I request all the teachers to please mute themselves for now. Someone is speaking, so I request all the teachers to please mute your mics for now.
To use the Smudge tool, follow these steps.
Just a second. So as you saw, the steps to use the blur tool were to first select it, then click and drag over the area you wish to blur out. Now, the thing is, you might have to drag it for a few times, as you can see. The action is repeated quite a few times so that the blur effect is strongly applied on the subject. Now, let's move on to the next tool. If you have any doubts, any queries, please raise your hand or mention it in the chat box so that I can respond to it.
To use the Smudge tool, follow these steps. Right-click on the Blur tool from the toolbar. Click on the Smudge tool. Now, click on the image and drag the mouse to apply smudge effect to the image. To use the Dodge tool, follow.
So that was a smudge tool. It's basically, if you want to relate it to the real life, it's like dropping a drop of paint on a sheet of paper and then wiping it with your finger. So it gives the same kind of result. Now let's move on to the next tool,
Dodge tool, follow these steps.
the dodge tool.
Right-click on the Blur tool from the toolbar. Click on the Dodge tool. Now, click on the image and drag the mouse to apply dodge effect to the image. Retouching tools are important to.
So as you can see, this is how we can use these tools to retouch the images in GIMP. Now, once we are done with retouching, we have some other tools too. For example,
Retouching
we have
in GIMP,
transform
transform
tools. Now, transform tools change the appearance of the image. How?
tools are
Let's
used
see.
to modify an image or a layer. The most popular transform tools are Crop tool, Text tool. The crop tool
So often we use images, we have images in which we have to remove certain portion of it because maybe some unwanted object is in it or maybe something appeared that we do not want in the images. So for that we use the crop tool, and let's see how the crop tool is used in the GIMP platform.
is used to remove unwanted parts from an image. To use the crop tool, follow these steps. Click on the crop tool from the toolbar. Click and drag the mouse around the area you wish to keep. Click inside the cropped area or press Enter key to remove the rest of the image. The text tool is used to add text to the image. To use the text tool, follow these steps. Click on the text tool from the toolbar. Now, click and drag to create a text area on the image. A toolbar will appear with tools to change the font size and other settings. You may click on the different options it provides and change the text and its properties according to your requirement. Once you have selected the properties, start typing the text. Press Escape key to finish inserting text.
So these are the most commonly used transform tools, basically the crop tool and the text tool. Sometimes we need to remove some portion of the image or add text to it. So this is how you can do it with GIMP. Now, along with this, let's see what other tools we have.
In GIMP, transform tools are used. GIMP provides many other tools to modify an image, such as Flip tool and the Rotate tool. Let us see how to use them. To use the Flip tool, follow these steps. Click on the Flip tool from the toolbar. Click on the image to flip the image horizontally. Under the toolbar, you can also see the Tool Properties pane. Click on the vertical radio button. Click on the image to flip the image vertically. You can also flip an image vertically by pressing and holding the Control key and clicking on the image. Similarly, you can also rotate an image by following these steps. Right-click on the Flip tool. Select the Rotate tool from the list of tools. Click on the image. A toolbar appears with different settings to rotate the image. Click on the Angle field and enter the value of angle to rotate the image by a fixed angle. If you are not sure about the angle, you can also use the slider below it to rotate the image. Try the other settings and observe the changes in the rotation of the image.
So this is how the flipping and rotating tools work in GIMP.
GIMP.
So that were the some of the tools, useful tools in GIMP. Now let me close this. So any queries, anything you want to ask? Nothing, no queries? Okay, so okay. Sukanya ma'am is asking for the attendance link. Okay. Here is the attendance link one more time. Then so all right. So I am posting the feedback form in the chat. Kindly fill it and we'll be done. Here's the link. Can everyone see it?